Welcome to Happy Hamstrings. What causes tight hamstrings? Simply sitting. We sit for majority of our days, most of us. When we're driving in our cars, sitting on couches watching TV, sitting at our desks, we're constantly in a state of contraction inside the hamstrings. Another thing that causes tight hamstrings is a lot of running and cycling. Again, because the knee is flexed and we're contracting the muscle the whole time. Your hamstrings are connected to your fight or flight response, but specifically the flight response because they're at the back of the leg, so they represent running away from something. So if you'd like to set an intention for this class, I would set something around the idea of fear and what you are maybe holding back from in your life. And then if we think about the opposite of fear, we can connect to a sense of confidence, a sense of calmness, or maybe the opposite of fear is love. I'll leave that up to you to decide. But with that said, let's get to it. Standing at the back of the mat, bring the feet hip distance apart, so not too wide, and then we'll bring the hands to heart center. Close the eyes, relax the shoulders, and slowly start to deepen the breath. Feeling the weight of the body balanced evenly between both feet. And then relaxing the muscles in the face. Relaxing the whole body. Finding a sense of stillness and stability. And we can gently open the eyes, release the hands to the side, palms slightly turned forwards, stand up nice and tall without strain, and then gently tuck the pelvis. So instead of arching the lower back, a very gentle movement of just pushing the tailbone down, and stand up tall for Tadasana, mountain pose. Then we're going to fold forward, so inhale to lengthen up. Exhale, slowly start to roll the body down, keeping a slight bend in the knees. And just allow the arms to hang. Relax the head and neck so it's not lifted for any reason. It's completely just hanging from the neck, releasing any tension, taking away the gravity. Place the hands onto the shins just below the knees. Inhale to halfway lengthen. Now you can straighten the legs, straighten the spine, and almost think of pulling the chest down through the shoulders. So you're really getting that flat back. And just feel how pushing the pelvis up and away really intensifies that hamstring activation. If this is too far for you, you can always place the hands on the thighs. Just avoid placing the hands on the knees. We don't want to put pressure on any joints. From here, come back to forward fold, bending the knees again slightly. And then if you can reach, place your fingertips down onto the mat. And then we're just going to pedal out the feet. You can also do this with hands on shins. And just slowly bending one knee at a time. Just bringing some movement into each hamstring. Stay with the breath. And just try to notice as you move how the tension in the hamstrings or the calves shifts. Trying to notice where the tension is, where it starts, where it ends. Just feeling whatever sensations come up. Now keeping the right knee bent, bring the right fingertips to the center of the mat, or they can be on the left shin. Inhale, open up with the left arm, gazing up past the hand. Deep breaths, breathing into the twist. Feel free to drop the gaze down if the neck feels strained looking up. One more deep breath. And as you exhale, come back to your forward fold, bending both knees. And then we'll straighten the right leg, bend into the left knee, and this time left hand to the center or onto the right leg. The right arm reaches up and twist. And again, finding your center point, so not leaning over to one side or leaning back out of the pose. Try to even out the weight on your feet. One more breath. And exhale, slowly release, forward fold. This time, straighten the legs, allow the arms to lift if they want to. And even see the activation of pulling the kneecaps up, so activating the quad muscles and relaxing the rest of the body forwards. Take deep breaths here, and then gently bring your weight forwards more towards the toes, and just notice how that changes the stretch. If you'd like to compare it, come back onto the heels and see maybe that's a bit easier. But we don't want easy, we want to challenge ourselves slowly. So find whatever is your middle ground and hold and breathe. From here, we're going to walk forwards to a plank. So you can bend the knees slightly, take 3 or 4 big steps with the hands. Coming first into a plank pose. Push the shoulders up and away from the mat. Again, slight tuck of the pelvis just to activate the core muscles. From here, bend the knees, start to slide the hips backwards, then lift them up, bringing your rib cage towards the thighs, head between the arms, gazing at your feet. And if it's comfortable, you can straighten your legs, try to bring the heels down. Otherwise, if you feel it changing the shape in the upper body, keep the knees bent. And just breathe. From here, we're going to take the right foot, reach it straight up. So even if you've got a bend in the bottom knee, straighten the top leg. And try to lift the leg up. Then bend into the knee, bring the knee into the chest. And we're going to step the foot forwards. So coming to a plank. Try to step toes just behind the wrists. If you need to help the foot forward, you can do so. And then we'll drop the back knee onto the mat, release the back toes. So just checking that this front foot is underneath the front knee, coming up to a low lunge. The idea is not to be up, but rather to push the hips forwards and down, sinking into the hips, feeling into our left hip flexor now, and just noticing if there's a lot of tension there, breathing into it. You can also keep the fingertips down if that's more comfortable for you. Breathing, relaxing the body, and then we'll come into our half splits. So sliding the hips back, slowly straighten the front leg, walk the hands back, flex the front foot. So if you feel that you're quite far back and you're not really feeling much, bring the foot forwards. You almost want to have a straight line between the back knee and hip. Make sure you're flexing the foot, and then you can gently lean forwards. Try again to lengthen the spine, rather push the hips out and back, and breathe. This one is not about how far down you go, it's simply about getting that nice activation in the hamstring, breathing into it. Holding for one more breath, giving the body time to release and get comfortable here. And then we'll come onto the fingertips, push into the hands, lift the back knee and slide onto your seat. So flexing the bottom foot up, keeping this knee bent, keeping the ankle in line with the toes. And then very gently, you can either bring your hands behind you, point the fingers back, and if you feel this in the quad, it means you're doing enough. If this isn't great for your knee, rather take the foot and just come to a Janusursasana pose, so bringing the sole of the foot to every thigh. For the rest of us, we can stay here or come onto the elbows. If this is not enough sensation for you, feel free to come onto your back gently by parting the elbows, gently lowering down, and you'll feel the knee might lift. You can gently think of working it down. Keep the bottom foot flexed and breathe. If that's too much for you and the body says no, slowly come back onto your elbows and rather just breathe, relax. Make sure your ankle and your knee is happy, otherwise come into the other variation. And then everyone will gently come back to seated, staying as you are with however your legs are placed. Just bring the arms forward, relax the head down, changing the stretch slightly, breathing into the front hamstring, and then slowly roll up. We're now going to release this knee, so leaning onto the right hip, very gently step the foot onto the mat. And you can just move the knee side to side, making sure that the hip is happy. We'll then interlace the hands behind the thigh and just straighten out the leg and then bend the knee in. So just feel into the knee, feel into the quad. Maybe the ankle wants a bit of a roll. Do whatever you need to do for your body. And then we can place the foot down. We're going to bend both knees. Bring the left ankle across the right knee. Then thread the left arm through the gap. Right hand will reach around. Interlace the hands onto the shin. And then bring this leg closer and closer until you feel enough of a glute stretch that you can hold comfortably. Sitting up nice and tall, breathing into the left glutes. And if you'd like to try a variation, you can come onto your back, so releasing the hands, making sure you have space behind you. Slowly coming onto the back, lift the right foot off the mat, bring it close to the chest, and again, left arm through the gap, right arm around, and just pull the legs towards you. So this might be a bit more intense. That's a great glute stretch to do pretty much whenever you get the chance. Breathing into it, allowing the body to relax here. From here, we're going to release the right foot down, interlace the hands behind the left leg, straighten the leg to your level. So it might not be straight up, that's fine. Hold wherever is comfortable for you. If you are quite happy here, slide the hands further up the leg and keep the foot flexed, stretching into the calf, stretching into the hamstring. Breathe. Try to keep the leg in line with the hip so it's not really out to the side, and make sure that it's nice and active, protecting the muscles. If you want to, you can slide the right leg down the mat and place the heel firmly down and just feel how this changes the stretch. One more deep breath here. And as you exhale, gently bend the knee, squeeze it into the chest, and And then we'll straighten both legs down the mat. Make sure your sit bones are even. Bring the arms above the shoulders. And then see if you can pull yourself up. And come up with a bit of core control. Very gentle forward fold. So just place the hands down. Point the toes just to feel the tops of the feet stretch. And then flex the feet. Noticing again the whole back leg activation. A very gentle tuck of the chin, not going too far. And then from here we can cross the ankles, bring the hands between the knees, and just come forwards, stepping the feet behind us. Spread the hands out nice and wide, and then step one foot back and the other foot back, coming back to our plank pose. Again, pushing the shoulders up and away, slight tuck of the pelvis. From here, bend the knees, downward facing dog. And just pausing for a breath, feeling into this pose. And then we'll come high up onto the tippy toes. Take the left foot, reach it up, three-legged dog. And then as you come forwards, gaze between the thumbs, bring the knee into the chest, step the foot forwards, helping it along if you need to. Dropping back knee, releasing back toes, and either staying on fingertips for our low lunge, or coming up. And just imagine the hips leaning forwards, sinking nice and heavy down to the mat. Breathe into the right hip flexor. And now we'll come to our half splits. So release fingertips and just straighten the front legs, slide the hips back, flex the toes. Check to see maybe you can slide the heel a bit forward, make your adjustments. And you can stay here with a nice flat back, breathing, finding your balance on the quad, or place the hands down, relax the head, and breathe. If this front knee keeps buckling, it means you've gone too far, so rather come up, take it slow. We don't want to force the body into any positions. The muscles will just tense up to protect themselves and create more tension. So by allowing the body some patience and some time, it will feel safe in these poses and open up. One more deep breath here. And then exhale, let it go. Coming onto the fingertips, putting all the weight into the hands, and just slide yourself down to seated. Making your adjustments, checking in the knee with the ankle, doing whatever you need to do to feel comfortable. And then keeping the bottom foot flexed. See if the sides are any different or if you want to do the exact same variation. So either with the hands behind you, reaching back, this is more than enough, or coming onto your elbows, or if you really do want to feel the full pose, or if you want even more sensation, coming onto the back. But as soon as there's any tension in the lower back or the quad or the knee, rather come up a level. Breathing, trying to relax the body, thinking of working the right knee down to the mat. And just breathing into the right quad, noticing the direction of the muscles, noticing where the tension lies, and again, using the breath. With every exhale, try to soften a little bit more. All prepared to release, so if you're on your back, gently make your way onto the elbows. Releasing slowly with control, one hand at a time, Support the body as you come up. And then very gently release this knee. Step the foot onto the mat. And again, first just feeling into the hip, making sure it's fine. Interlace the hands behind the thigh and just pump out the leg. Feeling into the knee. Bring some movement back into this leg. And if you want to, roll out the ankle. And then we'll place the foot down, bending both knees. Now this time, taking the right ankle across the left knee. And just playing around with your positioning. Thread the right arm through, left arm reaches around. And then bring this left heel closer towards you. And sit up nice and tall. Breathe into the glutes. You're welcome to stay here, or eventually we'll all come down onto the back anyways. Slowly making your way onto the back. Bring the legs towards you and gently pull the legs closer, just feeling as far as your body wants to go today. And the glutes are a nice big muscle, so it's good that we take some time, some deep breaths, allowing that muscle to soften, relax. And then we can gently release the left foot down. Grab hold behind the right leg, straighten it up, flex the toes, and then slide the hand up to wherever is comfortable for you. And just hold, breathe, feeling into the right hamstring. Rather have the legs straight and the hands nice and low. That's more than enough. You're also welcome to do this with a strap or a belt, hooking it around the foot and holding on with the hands. It's a lovely stretch to do. And just breathe, try to relax, keeping the legs strong and active. And if you want to go further, slide the left foot all the way down the mat, plant the heel, and just breathe. From here, we'll slowly release the right leg all the way down the mat. Bring the arms in line with the shoulders. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale, slowly start to curl the body up. Using the core muscles or a bit of momentum. Slowly coming up. Adjust your sit bones. Sit up nice and tall. So really pushing down to lift the spine up. Flex the feet. And this time we'll do more of an active forward fold. So inhale, lengthen up even more. Exhale, try to hinge more from the hips. Lean forwards, either grabbing hold around the feet or holding onto the shins. Tuck the chin to create length in the back of the neck and breathe. So the legs are nice and active, feet are flexed. Keep that activation as you just hinge forward, allowing the body to get used to this position we barely ever do these days. One more deep breath here. And then slowly come back to seated. Alright, we're going to finish with a little glute sequence. So you can stay seated as you are. I'm just going to turn to show you. You'll bring the right leg forwards in line with the front of the mat. So it's not cross-legged where the leg is coming in. It's more that the ankle and knee are in a straight line. Then you'll take the left ankle, place it onto the right knee, and the left knee will be above the right ankle. So you're stacking the legs, adjusting your sit bones if you need to, And when you look down, you'll see the perfect triangle sort of shape. So the base of the triangle is the legs in front of you. This knee might not be coming down and you might be wondering what's wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. It's perfectly normal. You will stay here and just breathe, maybe gently adding a bit of weight. If the knee does come down and you can lean forwards, feel free to stay here, bringing your weight forwards. And this is called fire log pose. If you'd like to go even further, you need more sensation, bring the weight all the way down. You can bring the elbows onto the mat, holding the head, or bring the head all the way down. Wherever you are, hold and breathe. Try to relax the body. This stretch is a beautiful stretch for a very small part of the glute, and you might feel it the longer you hold the stretch, or you might have felt it as soon as we got into it. And again, wherever there's tension, breathe through it. Try to convince the body that it is comfortable in this pose. Sometimes it even helps to smile. Trick the body into thinking it's happy here. To release, slowly start to roll up. And then very gently take the top leg and just plant it down. And then release the bottom leg. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.